Hi, I'm Jim Jordan speaking to you from Ashland, Oregon. And today I want to talk to you about something other than nutrition and natural healing, detoxification, all the other things I've spoken to you about for, a year plus now on these video blogs. Many of you don't know that I used to be a lawyer, and I really was highly motivated to get into law because I really believed that law was essential to social transformation, and I believe that we could make a difference by working for justice, protecting people's individual rights. We could change society so there wouldn't be so much suffering, poverty, war, disease, and everything. So I was very idealistic in my 20s, and as I started practicing law in my mid-20s, late 20s, I was overcome with illness, actually, and also sadness. I saw the legal system didn't operate anything like I thought it would, and I got into natural healing to heal myself, and then a spiritual path, and I've been in the natural healthcare field for many years, for 15 years now. But my interest in law has always been there, and about 10 years ago I started teaching a constitutional law approach to for natural healthcare practitioners to help us protect our right to practice natural healing in an increasingly restrictive legal environment. And I've been thinking more about what I feel we need in our society for transformation. Everywhere I look, there's trouble. Okay, there's wars that are destroying other countries and people's lives, primarily driven by profit. It's nothing to do with security, or little to do with it. Our economic system and monetary system are completely controlled by an elite group of corporations and bankers, and people know this. They understand. It's becoming more and more mainstream, understood by the mainstream of society. Electoral processes are corrupted and not legitimate at the national level. Many people understand that there's voter fraud, there's election fraud everywhere. So, at the national level at least. So there's a lot of disillusionment. There's less and less freedom to make choices, individual choices for yourself and your family regarding your health. Freedom of speech is being restricted. People are protesting. They're being channeled into little free speech zones, as if the First Amendment applies to only little parts of the country. Police is becoming more militarized. Things are not right. So what can we do about that? So what I feel we can do is start with an education about how our system was designed to work originally, the time the Constitution was drafted and passed. What are the principles of our legal system and our political system, our system of government? Most people don't know about this. Most lawyers I know don't know about this. I didn't know about this when I became a lawyer. I didn't learn anything about this in law school. So I'm really interested in starting an educational program for just the average citizen, just a regular person. They don't have to be a lawyer or anything. It could be high school age or higher. Anybody really needs to know law. And it's not being taught. It's not being taught in schools, at least. That's my experience and my observation. So I want to put this together. So I want to start with a video introducing this citizens legal education. There's a couple of parts I've already designed that I'm going to offer to people. The first is a historical context of our system of government. First of all, what is our system of government? Most people, when you ask them, they'll say we have a democracy, or the more cynical will say we have, a system run by corporations. The reality is we live in a corporate-controlled oligarchy with elections that are periodically giving us a choice between two candidates that represent the same basic interest with slightly different perspectives, but basically the corporate controlled interests. But in reality, our system is designed as a constitutional republic, which is very different than democracy. And in my historical context and foundational segment of the legal education program, I'll go into that. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? And who is really the sovereign in this country? Sovereigns we know as kings or queens, where the law doesn't apply to them, essentially. They make law. Nothing is higher than them. God gives them their power, allegedly, and the people are the subjects. They bow down to the monarch. In our system, we don't have a monarch. We don't have a monarchy. It was specifically excluded from the Constitution, titles of nobility. So where is the fundamental power? Where does it reside in our system? The answer I'll give you right now is it resides in the people. It resides in the people, not just my belief. If you believe the Supreme Court has the final say on these things, it's the Supreme Court has ruled this. But regardless of what the Supreme Court says, often they're wrong. It's the truth, is that we the people created governments, state governments, local governments. Our state governments then created the federal government. So they are actually a creation of us. So how can the created object be more powerful than the creator? It can't. It isn't. It's just we've given away our power. We haven't realized legally and ethically or in reality what is the source of power in America. It's, as it is now, it's of course corporations. Corporations are just legal fictions created, chartered by states initially to do a certain purpose, to contribute something to society. The corporate officers are not legally liable for the damages of the corporation's actions, so it's different than a business. So in my legal education, I'm going to go over the difference between a corporation and a business, and that's essential to understand. And the reality, the practical reality, is that corporations do control our government at the national level, for sure. There's no doubt about that. And it can change, but as it stands now, there's a marriage between corporations and government, and it's going to be very difficult to break. It's going to take a huge awakening in the public to recognize not only what's happening, but what can be done about it. So in my legal education course, I want to start with the basic fundamentals of our country, of how we were founded, and what are the principles behind a constitutional republic. Why is it a constitutional republic and not a democracy? And what's the difference? And then I want to go into the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. What are they? What do they say and what do they mean? How has the Supreme Court interpreted them? And are they mistaken in some cases? And there's certain cases there are key things that I think I'll point out, that I will point out in the educational program, and what we can do about that. But essentially it comes down to knowledge and then action. So without knowledge, though, action can often lead us astray. And I'm not claiming to have a monopoly on knowledge, but I want to present my point of view, and I want a discussion too. There'll be we can set up where we can have a dialogue about these topics: the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the direction we should go as a people to change the situation in our country, where we have actually prosperity for the people, not just a select few, and security and freedom at the same time. And protecting the environment. How can we protect the environment and still have businesses make a profit? All of this is possible in my view. I wouldn't say I'm idealistic anymore, but I'm pragmatic, and I want to present a pragmatic approach to understanding how we can change society in our country. So I'll keep you posted on the next step. This first video is just to introduce the idea of a citizen's legal education I'll be putting out there. There'll probably be a separate website for it that you could log into, and I hope people are really motivated by this as I am, because I really feel that we can change things, but we have to start with understanding. And look forward to being in touch with you more. Have a great day.